Okay, ladies and gentlemen, when we left off with our last problem, this is where I left you to have some figuring of your own. Okay, so this is the one where they said that the watchtower is 400 feet from a building. The window is above the ground. Someone's looking out from that window, looking up. You see 39 degrees to get to the top of the building, and down is 25 degrees to get to the ground. Your job is to figure out what the height of the window is and what the height of the tower is. Okay, so let's do a little bit of finagling here, and this will conclude 6.2, and we'll move on to 6.3 if we have time to do so, or might do one more problem. Not totally for sure yet. All right, so let's draw a quick little diagram. So here's my window, and this is 6.2 yet again. Here's my window, and it says from here to the top, tippity top of the tower is going to be, from my angle of sight, is going to be 39 degrees. But down to the base of the tower from the window is going to be 25 degrees. And the good news is they told us that this is exactly 400 feet. Why? Because the distance from the base of the building to the base of the tower should be 400 feet. So it makes good sense. Those lines would be the same. And note, since the window is right here from the ground, this from here to here should also be the same as the window. Okay, and the reason why we're drawing these connections is that because B says, well, A says height of tower, right? And B says height of window. Well, the window is this value here, which we'll call x. Okay, and then literally, if I wanted to find the height of the tower, I just need to add x to whatever this value is, which we'll call y. Seems pretty reasonable. So i.e., to find the height of the tower, we need to find x plus y, and to find the height of the window, we just need to find x. So obviously, you're seeing triangles all over the place. You see this triangle that's here. Okay, this triangle right here. So, and once again, this is a right triangle. So we have right triangle trigonometry. So start thinking. We know we have this 400 feet. Excuse me. And we're looking for the opposite side, and we know the adjacent side of this 25 degrees. What trig function should you probably use? You guessed it, probably the tangent. The tangent of 25 degrees is going to be the opposite over the adjacent. And note, once again, this is just a number. So we'll treat it like a number. We can multiply and divide by tangent of 25. It's not a cute number by any means, but we can manipulate with it. So I'm going to multiply by 400. X is going to equal 400 times whatever the number this is, 25 tangent of 25 degrees. Now, that's what B is. So the height of the window is just going to be this. So that's what this 400 tangent of 25 degrees will be the height of that window, which is x. To find the height of the tower, we need to find y, and we're going to use the triangle above. Once again, since it's a right triangle, we have this angle. We're looking for the opposite side. I have the adjacent side, so I'm probably going to need to use tangent again. Tangent of 39 degrees is the opposite over the adjacent. Can we solve for y? Abso-freaking-lutely. This is 400 tangent of 39 degrees. So to find x, our height of the tower, we just got to add x and y together. So x plus y is 400 tangent of 25 plus 400 tangent of 39 degrees, which will be the height of your tower. It's really not all that bad. You just got to take a little bit of time and putting the pieces together. And notice how giving things names like X and Y and calling things the right things help make it easier for you to determine what you should do. All right, actually, I'm feeling pretty good. Let's probably try to do one more, and I'll try to snatch one out of the homework if I can find one. So let's see here. Oh, this is a good one. So check this out. It says to measure the height of a cloud. Yeah, go figure, right? The cloud cover at an airport, a worker shines a spotlight upward at a 75-degree angle. So you see over there on the right-hand side, that's your spotlight. And they said an observer that is 505 meters away from that angle of elevation. So you see it. We're talking about that guy that's over there at 45 degrees that says find the height of the cloud. So we need to find h. This is going to be a very interesting problem. Okay. So, and this one is very similar to what you'll see on your final exam. So let's end on a test and or quiz. Hint, 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 freaking hint. Okay. So here's my spotlight and he's shining up. There's my cloud cover, which we're looking for. Call that H. Let me get some more of these details. That is 45 degrees, 75 degrees. 45 degrees is what the man is. 75 degrees. And we have the whole thing is 505. And we have this whole thing is 505. Well, the problem is this. We only have this is not a right triangle, this whole triangle, but these pieces of triangle are good. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to do some magic, ladies and gentlemen. And what do I mean by magic? Well, I need to split these up. So give me pick a variable, any variable, okay? Well, and this is going to be our dummy variable, x. So I'm going to call this side x, and I'm doing this arbitrarily. I could have called the other side x if I wanted to. Why did I do this? Because the other side is going to be 505 minus x. Now, I haven't worked this out yet, but my suspicion is because these are both two right triangles, I have to identify the sides and make them different. And it makes sense to call. So the idea is that by me calling one side x, I'm saying the other side. If you take off that x, that would be the measure of that side. That way, I don't have to look at this entire side anymore. I can split them up. And this allows me to use right triangle trigonometry. It's not any triangle trigonometry. It's a right triangle, so I really have to optimize that. So now, using the sides that we know, the opposite and the adjacent side, we know that tangent is what we're probably going to use, of 45 degrees, is going to be h over x. Pretty reasonable. And then if you look at the other side of 75 degrees, we know that, once again, I need the opposite and the adjacent side. We see the tangent of 75 degrees is h over 550 minus x. Good news. Good news. The good news is this is just a system of equations. Now, after I show you this, I'm going to show you one more way, if we were really thinking about this, that we can make life good for us. Okay, so we need to solve for h. That's the height of the cloud. And the only way we're going to do that is we have two equations, both with x's and h's in them. If I solve one for x and plug it into the other one, life should be good. All these fractions, though, are awful, so I'm going to clear them out. This one is going to be x times this number, which is tangent of 45 degrees, and I'm going to leave it as tangent of 45 degrees, even though I could probably turn this into a number since this is a cute guy. Like this is, remember, tangent of 45 is just 1, so that actually makes it very friendly. But let's say it wasn't that friendly, it wasn't just 1. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like this. Same thing with this one. I'm going to clear both sides. By this denominator, I get 505 minus x times tangent of 75 degrees equals h. Now note, I'm very tempted to set these equal to each other, but I'm not solving for x. I'm solving for h. So I need to solve one of these equations for x to plug it into the other equation so I get h. So check this out. I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to divide by this number, tangent of 45 degrees. Yes, I know it's 1, but I'm trying to show you what it would look like if it didn't simplify pretty. This factors x equals h over tangent of 45 degrees. Alright, so what does this give us? It gives us a blob. Now, I'm ready to plug it in, but see this parentheses? That's very dirty. So I'm going to multiply in my number, tangent of 75 degrees, and then hopefully this gives me something I much would rather work with. And this is what I'd rather work with right here. Okay, so now hopefully I don't run out of space here. I need to plug this x in here, and then I'm ready to rock and roll. Why so? Because then I can just solve for h. So here we go. Let's not make a move. So we get 505 tangent of 75 degrees minus x tangent. I should probably clean this off and And that's exactly what I'll do. Alright, so let me not forget this tangent 75. Alright, 505 minus x tangent of 75 degrees equals h. And then, oh crap, oh, I forgot the other one. It's x tangent of 45 degrees equals h. And yeah, I think that was correct. Excuse me. So now let's work it out. 505, I'm going to multiply this tangent of 75 in. Since it's just a number, I can distribute it. I could distribute that in. Equals h. Once again, I need to solve for h. So what does that mean? Solve for x and plug in for h, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now I'm going to plug this in here. Tangent of 75 minus h over tangent. Yes, I know it's looking icky. And yes, I know tangent of 45 is 1, but I'm not going to convert it yet. I want you to see how dirty it could be if that was like a tangent of 39 degrees, okay? So what does this mean we're going to do? All the h's need to be on one side so we can factor it into one spot. So let's see here. I'm going to add this big blob over. So I get 505 tangent of 75. Now, before I start adding, yeah, might as well, because I'm still going to need all my h's on one side. H plus h, watch what I do here, tangent of 75 degrees over tangent of 45 degrees. Now, if you notice something here, I should probably clear out my denominator. Otherwise, when I factor out and divide, I'm going to have a very icky blob. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply everything by tangent of 45. So my left side will be tangent of 75 times tangent of 45. H times tangent of 45. That's this first piece getting hit by the tangent of 45. When I hit the second piece by tangent of 45, it should cancel, which it does. And then finally, I can factor my h's out of both of these. And then divide by whatever that junk is in that parentheses after I factored my h out. And I know this looks totally crazy, but this is your value and how tall that cloud is. So I'm going to divide both sides finally by that. So h ends up being 505 tangent of 75 tangent of 45 over tangent of 45 plus tangent of 75. But guys, this is where you need to start thinking and say, okay, do these angles mean anything and are they simple? Yes. This is just one. This is just one. This would be the answer that you could plug into a calculator and approximate or shove it into Pearson exactly like that. Alright, so this is a particularly longer video, but I want to make sure that we have good understanding. We just used both triangles and pulled something out. Now if you notice, I used tangent. And then see how much work it took to do this? Check this out. If you remember our triangle, these triangles here, the one on the left and the one on the right, generated our two equations. And I'm going to draw my triangles yet again. So here's 45 degrees, here's 75 degrees, here's the height, here was x, and here's 505 minus x. So what we're going to do, check this out. What trig function do you use? And this is what I mean by having an intuitive sense of mathematics. What trig function do you know that involves this side and that side? The work would have been dramatically simplified if I didn't use tangent and instead I used cotangent. Because cotangent of 75 degrees, it's not opposite over adjacent anymore. It's adjacent over the opposite. Now you're probably saying, well, that makes really no difference. It makes a gigantic damn difference, and this is why cotangent of 45 degrees is not opposite, it's now adjacent over the hypotenuse. And this is why, because when I'm solving for h, I don't have to really worry about clearing the fractions too much. So watch this. I need to get one equation with nothing but h's in them, right? So I'm going to clear this out. Notice you get x equals cotangent of 45 degrees times h. So I'm just going to plug this guy into the other guy. Oh, look how simple that is. I'm going to add it over. Why? Because I have multiple things with h's in it. And then I'm a factor, which is h is cotangent of 75 degrees plus cotangent of 45 degrees equals 505. And then finally divide by the junk. Now, I would encourage you to take this answer, plug it in a calculator, and take the other answer and plug it in a calculator. You'll see it's the exact same answer. And then you'll actually see something very cute, and that is, oh yeah, and by the way, cotangent of 45, that's just 1. So you'll actually see that this is, if you use a little bit of foresight and intuition about which trig function, because remember, opposite and adjacent sides, or opposite and hypotenuse sides, you got two trig functions that can use that. It could be cotangent or tangent, or secant and cosine, or cosecant and sine. So if you choose the right one, it makes your work a little easier. Now, some of you would just bulldog your way through it, and if you bulldog your way through it, it could be like the last problem where it just gets really messy. So if you take a little 10 seconds and think about it on the front end, you'll be good. Okay. Remember, if you're going to go somewhere you've never been before, you're going to have to be prepared to do